we would go through the prompts. So I'm Debbie Braide. I'm an energy consultant, focused on energy access and clean energy. I'm passionate about people, community, social impact. The thing I like most about myself is my empathy and my kindness. I spend a lot of time on my phone, and my favorite 2023 memory was spending time with my family this past 2 months. And we can do it like popcorn style. So I will just throw it to Ade, and you can introduce yourself in 30 seconds. And then when you're done, just nominate someone else who can go after you. Ade, are you there?
Yes, I do apologize. I'm here. So my name is Ade Jumoke Awusoya. I am a public health specialist, also a researcher and currently a lecturer, also a lecturer. I reside in the UK, and I have a daughter. I love family, and I think that's me. So what am I passionate about? I'm passionate about the health of people, health of the public, and how to make people make better choices of better behavioral choices. What do I spend a lot of my time doing? I actually love watching movies. I'm a very competitive person, so I love movies that are very challenging and are competitive as well. And my favorite memory for 2023, I think my favorite memory for 2023 is the birth of of my um my niece. Super excited about that. And that's me. Thank you.
Yeah, you can nominate
Oh
someone.
yeah, then I nominate someone.
Sorry
Let's
about the way my
see.
voice sounds a bit
No,
dealing with
that's
it.
fine. I'll nominate my bestie of all time, Nora. Yeah.
Hi everyone. Good evening. Good evening, Dr. Jumi. Okay, so my name is Nora Osai. I am an author and I'm a social media manager. So I am passionate about people and bringing justice. And what I like most about myself is my empathy. And I spend a lot of time on my laptop daily. Okay, so for my favorite memory, I'd say when I graduated this year for a 3 years course. It took me 5 years. So I think for me that's like so far the best memory this year. Okay, so I'm going to be nominating Philomena.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Philomena Atang, and what I do, I'm a content writer, and I volunteer with some companies online. I'm passionate about books and reading. What I like most about myself, I like everything about myself. And I like making new friends, meeting new people. What I spend a lot of time doing daily, I will say pressing my phone also. And my favorite memory of 2023 would be the people I met and the time we spent together. I nominate testimony.
So Philomena, since Testimony is unable to speak out, you can help her read a message.
She said, okay.
Yeah, she sent a message. I think she can't, probably she's not somewhere she can speak.
Okay, so she said, I am Testimony Olateju, a pre-nominate student of Obafemi Awolowo University. I am passionate about people and social impact, majorly SDG 4. I spend most of my time at now reading or attending meetings.
Okay. I can nominate someone on her behalf, so maybe James can go after, and then Sheun, and we can wrap up the introductions there. James, are you there?
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. My name is, yes, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Egbo James, and I am currently, let me say, a student, because I'm seeking admission for a second degree at the moment. What I'm most passionate about, okay, I'm passionate about self-development, self-improvement on a daily basis. What do I like most about myself? I like the fact that I never give up. I prefer to keep trying until I achieve my goals. What do I spend a lot of my time doing daily? Currently, I actually read a lot. I've been reading a lot more than I used to in the past years, and I'm actually enjoying it a lot more. I read a lot of motivational books and novels. I also love playing the keyboard. I love musical instruments and music in general. My favorite 2023 memory, I I started playing major pieces on my keyboard, so I actually feel very good about that because for someone who loves playing musical instruments, if you don't, when you start playing the main pieces, you begin to feel more professional. I actually feel good after I do that in 2020. So I think that's all about.
Okay, and then the last person is Sheun, I believe.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Chevening, and what I do, I'm a student and a freelance content writer in the SaaS niche. What I am most passionate about, I am passionate about personal development, music, and marketing. What I like most about myself, I'd say, I think I like the fact that I know how to support people. I mean, at whatever they do. Like to help them volunteer and see ways where I can help them improve and get things done. And what I spend a lot of my time doing daily, uh, most of this, well, I read a lot, and I use social media a lot. Then my favorite 2023 memory, I'll say that since yeah, I think I became more outgoing this year. I stopped being shy a little bit. I mean, being shy, and yeah, I just became more outgoing. So that's it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thanks all for sharing. And once again, apologies that my voice is a bit off today. I'd like to start this with just talking through what the pillars of life and wellness kind of are, because these tie into kind of what your purpose for networking is. So there are many things that, kind of keep our lives in balance, from emotional, financial, social, spiritual, occupational, physical, intellectual, and environmental. So essentially like the goal is to develop all these pillars equally so that there's balance across all of them and none is necessarily out of balance. So if you look at the image of the stool on the right, there are four legs and the four legs are necessary to keep the stool standing, right? So it's the same way it's essential that like we can balance all these areas of our lives so that we can really like have like full, well, and whole lives. And I think one of the last person spoke that he was able to like improve his social life this year. And that's also nice because then that ties into like the social pillar, which is also essential. However, it doesn't mean that your life will constantly be like in balance, like at the same level across all these pillars, right? But it's just to make sure that even if one pillar is a bit off for a season, it's not like so far up that the whole thing crumbles, but maybe it's just a little bit off, but at least the stool would tilt a bit, but it's still standing in a sense. And why this is important for networking, I will talk about this a bit later on in the presentation. But then what is networking? So looking at this map kind of on the right, that talks about relationships, career opportunities, contact, the internet, business card. So this kind of just shows like the the outcomes of networking, but also the tools that you can have for networking. So you can have like relationships out of networking. Networking can support like your career objectives, give you access to opportunities, give you new connections. And you can also use tools like the contacts of the people, the internet business cards through your colleagues, through meet and greets, finding people with common interest and communities to be able to achieve success, connections, and all these other things that I talked about. So essentially, it's just really being able to exchange ideas, information, and any valuable piece of like opportunity or data really among people or groups. And those groups are usually groups that come together based on a common interest, right? So it could be like let's say you can have like if you're networking in a political sector, right? It's networking maybe within your political party or across political parties, but the common interest of some sorts is politics or governance, right? And that's just an example. So I would want to hear from you guys, like, why do you think networking is important? And like I said, like I want this to be as interactive as possible because I think there's also a lot of value from your end. So it's not just me talking to you or talking at you. So anyone want to volunteer to just share why they think networking is important? Or I can nominate someone. So Shaun, you mentioned your social life has improved. So maybe you can share some insights on like why do you think networking is important?
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that ball to come to my court, but
There's no right or wrong answer. And you can also say you're not sure. So that's also a valid answer.
oh, okay. Well, so far, I mean, I just think, I mean, generally, um, networking exposes you to like opportunities you wouldn't get, I mean, on a normal day. Yeah, like it gives you this wide range of options. Like I don't know, like for example, I'll use myself as an example. I think I no I like to stay indoors. Yeah. So I mean I started going out, going for events, and I mean I began to meet new people in I mean the areas I am interested in. And I think doing that has really helped me to have easy access to opportunities and information that I wouldn't get on a normal day. And also it has helped me grow in my area of interest. Yeah, so I think those are two benefits of networking that I have observed on personal levels. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. And that's actually very valuable. Some of the additional things that I would just add to what like Sharon has already shared, networking helps to strengthen business connections. You can get new ideas about things that you never maybe knew before, get like fresh perspectives, get like new access to like some opportunity, maybe by a referral or a recommendation. I think another thing is it increases your validity in your sphere or the sector that you work in. So the more people know about you and know about your work and what you do, and also if you have been putting out quality work, because also like if you're networking but your skills and the work that you're putting out is not like of good quality, is not like something that people can stand behind and give you like a good recommendation for, then in a sense, the networking can even work against you. So it's also important that even as we're networking, right, like you're putting yourself out there and people are getting to know you, but they're also knowing you for good reasons. And that then gives you access to more opportunities. So this chart on the left just shows like how it was a study that was done, and it just showed like the percentage of individuals that got jobs due to networking opportunities via their connections on LinkedIn, or even via weak tie relationships. So a weak tie relationship could be maybe someone you've met only once, let's say at a conference, or it could even be like the friend of a friend of a friend, not necessarily someone you're very close to, but someone who knows enough about you to know like the what you do, what your interests are, what your passion is. And that's why we did like the exercise in the beginning to talk about the things that really shape us and the things that when people know about you, they can immediately link in their minds that, oh, this person is passionate about this. This is what they do. And if there's an opportunity that comes in that area, that's the person I would think about. And you could do that in 30 seconds. So there are different like types of networking. And this again would tie back to what I talked about, the pillars of life, right? So I'll just quickly go back to that. So we see these pillars, just a quick refresher on the pillars of life. And then we go back to the types of networking. So you can be networking to develop your social pillar. So that's like making new friends, making new connections, just finding people that you can hang out with, that you can go for events with, and you can meet this kind of people like in different kind of settings, right? You could also be, having a more targeted like networking to develop, let's say, your occupational pillar or your financial pillar, where you're talking to people, to either inform them about your skill sets or to learn about their skill sets and see how that could land you your next job opportunity or your next financial opportunity or consulting or whatever that enhances those pillars. You could also be like, you could also like have a particular goal in mind. So let's say towards an environmental pillar, you want to live in an environment that is safe, that is clean, and then you're going to that event to network with someone who that exchange of information can either help you know how to improve your own environment, or maybe the exchange of information or that discussion can cause you to advocate for a cause that would improve your environment, right? Maybe you're talking to a political actor or someone in government, and it's more targeted like toward developing that pillar of your life. And sometimes you also have chance encounters, a serendipitous moment. You may never expect that, you may just be riding on the bus one day and someone sitting next to you, you don't even know who they are, but like just from a conversation with them, you learn so much. And maybe that person could be a gym instructor who is willing to help you develop your physical pillar to improve your health and your wellness and those kind of things. So there are really many forms of networking. It's not always business or professional, but there are many ways you can also network. And I think it's important to see that like in trying to live a balanced life, it's not always just about the business networking, right? So I want to also hear back from you. Like I said, interactive as much as possible. So I would really like to hear from like as many people. I want to know, like, how have you networked in the past? What challenges have you faced with your networking? And what successes have you encountered? And really just very, very brief, like in 30 seconds. We're also a small group. So I think all six, Ade, James, Joshua, Nora, Philomena, shown testimony. If any of you have anything to share, please go ahead. If you have nothing to share, you can also say you have nothing to share, but I'd like to hear from everyone.
Okay,
I'll start with yeah, sorry, Joshua, go ahead.
Okay, for me, I've gotten a chance to organize events, and networking has been fantastic for me because the people I invite are genuinely interested in what I do, and not just what I do, but my personal life also. But there are sometimes that, I'm always keen on people particularly, and then they're the ones that I'm always keen on are not the ones that come with the vibe I want. There are sometimes also I go for events without, planning to meet anyone, and I meet someone and eventually we become co-founders and all of that. So I think networking for me has been fantastic. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Please nominate someone to talk because I want to hear from everyone.
Okay, I nominate Philomena.
And like I said, like saying you have nothing to share is also a valid answer. So
Okay, so I've networked through events that I attend, and my first challenge is always how to approach the people I see, like someone that I have interest in, how to approach the person at first is always the problem. But at the end of the day, I'm able to summon courage to meet the person and build the relationship at the end.
thank you. You can nominate someone else to speak as well.
Okay, I can speak while my daughter is quiet now before she starts throwing her tantrums again. Yeah, so I'm not so much of I'm not really good at making friends or meeting people. I feel like my social life is zero. But I tried it once. So I was invited to my daughter's school for like parents meeting and that. So quite strangely, I saw another black lady there. I'm not I'm not discriminating anyway, but the fact that I saw another black lady there kind of like made me want to at least just say hello and to speak to her. But again, my kind of person, I just felt like, I'm just going to let go. So luckily for me, while I got on the bus, the lady also got on the bus, but I was lucky to get a seat. So then something came into my head that why don't you offer her a seat to sit? So there was an empty seat beside me, and I offered her a seat to sit, and that was the start of a relationship between the two of us. And it's been really, 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 really good because she works in a different organization. She works with an IT the IT department of Barclays Bank, and I get to learn a lot from her. And the fact that we get to also discuss about our daughters growing up and all that, to me, I feel like it helps when I've got challenges with potty training my daughter, feeding my daughter, trying to transition from bottle feeding to eating solid food. And I feel like that to me is a lot of success on my behalf, knowing fully well that I'm not that friendly kind of person. Thank you.
Wow, that's such an amazing story. Thanks for sharing. I guess I could nominate James or, oh, sorry, Nora, go ahead, please. Thank you guys for volunteering. That's awesome. Nora, please go ahead.
Okay, I share similar experience with Dr. Jumi. I am not I'm not much of a social person. It's like really difficult for me to associate with people. And I started working on it recently, or let's say last year. So among all the people I've met, I networked with someone And this happened because he had similar interests with me. Somehow, I faced two challenges while I was trying to do that. First of all, I was reluctant to talk to him because he was a complete stranger, and the level of experience, of course, like age-wise and every other thing, professionally, of course, I'm no match. So I just felt, oh, I didn't want my intentions misread and all of that. So it was a bit difficult. But somehow, at some point, I just felt, okay, I just needed to summon the courage to do it. Fine, there's no crime in rejection. If he says no, he doesn't want it, then that's fine. So I sent him a personalized invite, and I told him I loved I like anything that has to do with humanities, and he was also in the same field. And I offered that he could be my mentor. Surprisingly, far from what I was thinking, he agreed. And up until now, we've been in touch. I mean, he's always giving me advice. He's giving me lots of, professional advice, things that I least expect. And the bond has been growing because I've learned a lot of things, networking with him over the years, and it's just been so amazing. So I feel like I had great success. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you. Anyone else want to share?
Okay, I'll share. Okay, so my experience with networking, in the past, I wasn't a big fan of networking, reaching out to people, random strangers especially, because I didn't see it necessary to do so, especially when you can just avoid all the complications that can come. Why not just keep to yourself? But then in recent years, I discovered it's actually important for you to learn to network with other people because of it helps a lot with your own personal development. I mean, like I said, I love personal development. So when you learn from other people's experiences and advice, you don't learn without talking to the person. I mean, you need to get in touch with the person, and then the person will be like, okay, this thing you're interested in, this is how I did it, or this is how someone I know does it. For instance, when I was doing my NYSC, I met he was a stranger then, but then we became good friends through the course of the year. And we even ended up doing a project, an NYC project together, raising funds and doing everything. And all because we just met in camp, and fortunately we were posted to the same place. And we're like, okay, let's try and put heads together and see what we can do to achieve our goals. So I think I've come to discover that networking is actually a very vital part of an individual's personal growth and progress. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you everyone for sharing. I think in the interest of time, we'll move on to the next thing. But yeah, your stories are really like amazing, and it's interesting to see like a bit of serendipity there, a bit of like targeted events as well there that led to finding mentors and friends. And sometimes you really don't know like who you're sitting next to or where that conversation can lead. So it's really great to hear. So now on to networking tips. I know some of you mentioned like finding someone who is as keen to network with you as you are with them. And then someone also mentioned like finding the courage to walk up to people as well. And some of you mentioned you're not like naturally social. And all of that is okay. Like, right, you can learn and improve and identify like areas of your life that you want to like work on, and then take those steps to consciously work on and then improve on it. But it doesn't like mean that there's something wrong with you or anything at all. But some of the tips I would share are like, first of all, be looking friendly, smiling, and it makes you like more approachable to people. And then also if you're shy, it also helps asking a question to people about themselves. So some of those prompts that we had earlier on in the introductions, like what are you passionate about? What do you spend most of your time doing? Those are like some interesting conversation starters, because those would not be like yes or no questions. But by the time someone is like saying, oh, I'm actually passionate about this, you can pick up from there and see if you have a common interest, and you can have more conversations. But it's also important to read the room anyway. So also getting involved in like a local organization, through events as well. That's a great way to meet people. Speaking up to people at random places, on the bus, at the school, and all of that. Like just having like conversations with people is also a great way to, network. And it's also important to like follow up with any key contacts that you make at these events, or for any opportunities for interactions that you've had with those people. And also it's good to have a pitch of yourself, right? Like typically just have like some points that you can bring up about yourself, or things that you might be interested in the other person, that you could ask and kind of know. So you should just generally at least have a pitch about yourself, so it's easy to like, talk to someone about those things. So even when we talked about like your favorite memory of 2023, some of you spoke about like having a child, graduating, being more social. Those are interesting things that you can also include in your pitch when you're talking to people. So my number one tip, however, in addition to all of that, is usually really seek to build authentic relationships and not just transactions. Sometimes we can be tempted to look at people in networking opportunities as a wallet or a bank account, or a position, or as an opportunity. But even the most successful people do not want to be looked at that. Like they're happy to help if they can. However, nobody really likes to feel like you're only coming to them because you want something. I think even us in our lives, we don't like to feel that way, right? But it's much more it's much nicer when you're approaching someone because you're genuinely interested in them, and you're seeking to build an authentic relationship. And when you have that authentic relationship with someone, it's a much warmer, much more friendly like association that you have with the person, that you're not only going to benefit from their professional and like business contacts or information or opportunities, but you can also even benefit from the personal, like Ade mentioned, with learning about like, tips on potty training and all those things. Even though that lady works in Barclays and is successful professionally, there are also many personal things that she's also been able to gain from that relationship. So essentially, all these tips put together are great, but it's important to come from the perspective of genuine interest and not just transactions with people. So just to end the sort of talk, these are some tools and resources, leveraging your university groups, your professional groups, community groups, volunteering, especially for people who are shy or don't find it easy walking up to people. If you're volunteering, you're already in a group where there's some common interest, and doing that activity together would force you to have communication with people. And even looking within your current network of friends and family, there may be people you already know, but you don't even know what they do or what they're passionate about, or what opportunities they could give you access to. So learning and seeing the value of the people you already have from first a genuine and authentic perspective, but also seeing, oh, what opportunities and ideas can we share? Going to networking events and also social media. And there are two books I would recommend for you guys to read. It's not on this presentation, but I can post it on the group and share with you guys. And if you can find it to buy, you can. It's How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And the other book is Never Eat Alone by Keith Ferrazzi. So those are great books that you can learn like more about building authentic relationships, networking with people. And I really like the example that Ade shared about like offering someone a seat. there's nothing as wonderful as offering help to someone and that being an opportunity for you to build a relationship. So I would stop there because I see we have just 2 minutes left on this call. I'm not sure if we can take much more questions at this point. But yeah, thank you. And that's all. If anyone has any questions, like feel free to ask, but I would hand over back to the Datopia team. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Debbie. Thank you so much for today. Thank you so much. In fact, I was glued to my screen all through. I loved your presentation, and I was able to take a couple of screenshots so that I can always remember. Thank you so much. And you ended it with some really nice books. Thank you so much. Really appreciate this session. Well, do we have any questions before we go?
Yeah, can I just also acknowledge the fact that she's also got a very cool voice, a voice that definitely someone I will offer my seat to and I meet outside. Yeah, so your voice as well kind of like kept us all glued to our screen as well. So thank you very much for sharing your experience and your knowledge with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm nursing a slight cold, but it's nice to hear. Thank you. And thanks all for listening and sharing. I learned so much from you guys, and thanks for the opportunity to share this. And feel free to ask any questions on the group if you have, but I know this will soon round up soon. Yeah.
No worries. Do we have any questions before we go?